We came here looking for something. What do you know about V1?
You come to the right place. It should be a delightful reunion.
Good times.
Well, guys, they actually did it. As we get closer and closer to the absolute grand finale of The Boys, the writers apparently got together in a room and decided to just throw the entire traditional television rulebook straight out the window. If you thought you knew exactly how this final season was going to play out, if you thought we were just going to get a standard, linear race to the finish line, think again. Season 5, Episode 5 just gave us something totally new for this universe. A true anthology episode. For nearly an hour, we completely abandoned the main storyline to see the world through 5 wildly different, deeply messed up points of view. We got to experience the chaos through the eyes of Firecracker, Black Noir, Sister Sage, Soldier Boy, and, wait for it, Butcher's Bulldog Terror. Yes, really, we had an entire segment from the perspective of a dog. But don't let the weirdness fool you. This wasn't just filler. This episode was a masterclass in planting seeds for the finale. We are going to break down every single shocking death, dive into the terrifying psychology of Sister Sage's world-ending master plan, point out every hidden Easter egg, and talk about the absolute wildest celebrity cameos they've ever pulled off in the history of the show. Seriously, what happens in that Hollywood basement later in this episode is something you have to hear to believe. Seth Rogen might actually need a therapist after this one. So grab your snacks, get comfortable, hide your chocolate from your dogs, and let's talk about it. Massive spoiler alert for everything in Episode 5. Let's get into it. We start off the episode looking through the eyes of Firecracker, and man, the vibes in Vought Tower are super uncomfortable right now. She's locked in this intense, desperate power struggle with Old Father to be Homelander's absolute favorite right-hand disciple. And Firecracker's big, masterstroke idea to win his favor? Starting the Homelander Democratic Church of America. It is a brilliant, terrifying piece of satire. They are blending mega-church evangelism, we're talking lasers, smoke machines, the whole 9 yards, with extreme political radicalization. She literally presents Homelander with a customized Bible that includes a New American Testament written entirely by AI, which is just such a funny, biting jab at how everyone is using AI to generate garbage right now. She's trying so hard, she is giving 110%, but Homelander? He is just annoyed. Furthermore, he severely reprimands her for calling him a prophet. And this is such a crucial look into his psychology. He doesn't want to be a prophet, because prophets work for God. They are messengers. Homelander doesn't want to serve anyone. He wants zero confusion about his title. He wants the world to know that he is God, period. But to prove her ultimate loyalty to this false god, Firecracker has to cross a moral event horizon that she can't ever come back from. Through these surprisingly heartbreaking flashbacks, we meet Pastor Greg. This is the guy who practically raised her, baptized her, and actually cared about her when she was just a nobody. But the new Homelander Church doesn't want independent competition. They are running this mafia-style shakedown, using a soup named Praying Mantis to intimidate Greg's congregation into joining the Vought brand. And to prove she is fully on board, Firecracker goes on her live TV show, reads from a Vought teleprompter, and completely ruins Pastor Greg's life. She makes up horrific, life-destroying lies about him being a groomer. When she reads those words to the camera, you can actually see her soul leave her body. A single tear falls. She knows exactly what she just did. She acted as Judas and sacrificed the only human being on Earth who genuinely loved her, all to appease a boss who views her as completely replaceable. And what does she get for this ultimate sacrifice? Absolutely nothing. When she realizes Homelander doesn't actually care about her, the panic sets in. She gets desperate. She begs him, trying to win him back, reminding him of how blessed she felt taking care of him. And for a second, she almost pulls it off. The tension in the room drops. But then, she misspeaks. She looks at Homelander and tells him, "Even God needs love." Oh no. No, no, no. You do not tell the most insecure and narcissistic superhuman on the planet that he needs something. To Homelander, needing love is a fatal weakness. He snaps. In a blind rage, he smashes her head right into her own American Eagle statue, killing her instantly. It is crazy poetic, right? The girl who built her entire brand on right-wing American political parodies gets her skull crushed by a bald eagle statue at the hands of the guy she worshipped. It was brutal. It was sudden. But honestly, what a perfect conclusion to her tragic self-inflicted downfall. Okay, wiping the blood off our screens, we move on to the point of view of Black Noir number 2, or as we now affectionately know him, Justin. This segment was such a wild tonal whiplash. We finally find out what he's been doing when he sneaks off from work every afternoon. Is he running secret black ops? Is he taking soup steroids? Nope. He's at theater rehearsals. The guy walking around in the scariest, most intimidating tactical suit on the planet is literally just an anxious theater kid trying to make it to Broadway. It is so good. We see him out of the suit, talking to his play's director, Adam. Justin is complaining about his toxic day job, which involves covering up gruesome murders and dealing with weird workplace beef. But Noir makes a massive tactical error. He goes on the Manhandle podcast, which is an absolutely hilarious parody of alpha male crypto bro podcast culture, and he publicly embarrasses the Deep. Now, if there is one cardinal rule at Vought, it's that you don't poke the Deep's incredibly fragile ego. The Deep is already wildly insecure about his place in the Seven. He's like a peaked in high school bully who finally got some power back. So the Deep decides to get revenge in the most horrifying, disgusting, petty way mathematically possible. Just as Justin gets the incredible news from Adam that their play is actually heading to Broadway, meaning Justin can finally quit his awful superhero job and follow his dreams, the Deep tracks them down to the rehearsal space. The director goes to the bathroom, and the Deep uses his aquatic telepathy to send a gill straight up the plumbing. Yeah, I'm going to spare you the visual details, but it is a horrible, humiliating way to go. Justin tries to save him, but he's too late. The Deep doesn't just kill the director, he brutally kills Justin's dream. He uses this murder to blackmail Noir, basically telling him, "You belong to me now, or I'll tell Homelander you're doing theater instead of your job." And Homelander would 100% laser him in half for that. The tension between these two is at an absolute boiling point. I am putting my money down right now. The Deep and Noir are going to have a fight to the death before this season is over, and it is going to be messy. So next we get the most bizarre POV of the episode, Butcher's iconic bulldog, Terror. And yes, to address the elephant in the room, it starts with the dog dreaming about humping a Homelander chew toy. Classic, juvenile boys humor. But while it seems like a joke, the show actually uses the dog as a literal fly on the wall to deliver some incredibly heavy exposition. Terror waddles around and overhears Mother's Milk and Butcher having a quiet moment. And MM drops a bombshell. He says he hasn't slept this well in years because he finally stopped fearing death. He genuinely thinks his ex-wife and daughter are better off without him, and that hoping to survive will only make him hesitate when it's time to pull the trigger on Homelander. Then the dog wanders over to Frenchie, who is crying over a burnt chocolate cake in the trash, talking about his deep, overwhelming guilt and how he can never give Kimiko the normal, peaceful life she deserves. Guys, listen to me. The writers are not being subtle here. They are aggressively waving massive red death flags right in our faces. Both MM and Frenchie are actively making peace with the fact that they are going on a suicide mission. Now personally, MM suddenly giving up his drive to get back to his family feels a little uncharacteristic and rushed after 4 seasons of him being the moral anchor. But from a storytelling perspective, it skyrockets the emotional stakes. Nobody is safe. The tension suddenly spikes when Terror actually manages to eat Frenchie's discarded chocolate cake out of the trash. Any dog owner knows chocolate is incredibly toxic. The boys go into full panic mode, but Hughie acts fast, gets the dog to throw up, and saves his life. And this leads to a super rare vulnerable moment. Butcher's hardened V-tumor-infected exterior actually cracks. He sincerely thanks Hughie. He admits that if they secure the soup-killing virus, they will use a refined version to act as a vaccine to save Annie and Kimiko. But Butcher makes it crystal clear, he isn't taking the vaccine himself. He is fully intending to go down with the sinking ship, as long as Homelander goes down with him. If anything happens to that dog in the final 3 episodes, Butcher is going to lose his absolute last tether to humanity and become a bigger monster than Homelander. Alright, let's talk about the smartest person in the room. We finally find out what Sister Sage is actually trying to do. Phase 1 is done. Homelander basically owns the American government. But what is Phase 2? She gets a little drunk with Ashley and spills the beans. It's way, way darker than anyone theorized. She doesn't want a seat at the Vought executive table. She doesn't want money. She doesn't want to be a celebrity. She wants to end the world. She tells Ashley this incredibly sad, simmering story about her grandmother. Sage had the sheer intelligence to easily cure her grandmother's cancer. But the world, the medical community, the media, Vought, they only cared about flashy superheroes who could shoot lasers or punch through walls. They viewed her hyperintelligence as boring. They ignored her, and they let her grandmother die. So now Sage has this deep-seated total hatred for humanity. Her grand endgame is to orchestrate the release of the soup-killing virus worldwide. But here is the twisted genius of it. She wants to make sure the soups think that normal humans engineered and released it. This would inevitably spark an all-out, apocalyptic, extinction-level war between humanity and superpowered beings. They would rip each other to shreds. And what does Sage want to do while this happens? She just wants to lock herself safely inside a fortified bunker, read some books, watch the world burn itself to ash, and finally get some peace and quiet. It makes a twisted sort of sense, doesn't it? When you are the absolute smartest person on the planet, and you are surrounded every day by vain idiots, corporate greed, and systemic corruption, total nihilism probably seems like the only logical conclusion. But now the million-dollar question is, what is Ashley going to do? Ashley is the ultimate corporate survivor. She hates Homelander and lives in constant terror of him. But Sage is literally proposing a global apocalypse. Will Ashley choose the devil she knows and snitch to Homelander to save the planet? Or is she too scared of Sage? Keep that in the back of your mind. Saving the absolute best for last, we jump to Soldier Boy and Homelander. They pay a visit to Stan Edgar in his holding cell. And can we just pause and appreciate Giancarlo Esposito? The man has zero superpowers, but he verbally undresses these two living weapons without breaking a single sweat. He makes them feel tiny. But Soldier Boy isn't playing around. He threatens to find Edgar's daughter, Zoe, forcing Edgar to break his poker face and give up a lead, a former 7 speedster named Mr. Marathon, hiding out in Los Angeles. This leads them to a basement in Hollywood. And you guys, the meta-comedy in this scene is legendary. It is top-tier television. First of all, they walk in and we get a supernatural reunion. Misha Collins, literally Castiel himself, is there playing a soup named Mall Chemical, acting opposite Jensen Ackles. And if that wasn't enough, we get a full-blown Superbad reunion. Seth Rogen, Christopher Mintz-Plasse, McLovin, and a cameo from Will Forte. They are all just sitting around in a circle, doing the most performative, embarrassing, self-congratulatory Hollywood activism imaginable. They think posting memes is going to stop Homelander. Homelander and Soldier Boy walk into the room, and the satire immediately devolves into an absolute bloodbath. Homelander gets knocked out by some sleeping gas, and these Hollywood elites try to convince Soldier Boy to join their resistance. Soldier Boy looks at them and basically says, "Nobody screws with my son but me," and then he just starts slaughtering everyone. The absolute highlight of the episode? Watching Seth Rogen get literally ripped in half on a television show that he serves as an executive producer for. It doesn't get more brilliantly, cynically meta than that. And the way they catch the speedster, Mr. Marathon? Soldier Boy uses the guy's massive stash of baby oil to make the floor slippery so he can brutally break his legs. It is an incredibly dark, very timely pop culture reference to the P. Diddy news that proves this show is always taking shots at the real world. When Homelander wakes up, he simply crushes the guy's head like a grape. He looks at Soldier Boy and asks why he didn't let them kill him. Soldier Boy plays it off like he just hates Hollywood liberals, but the truth is obvious. Right there, covered in blood, father and son finally bond. They don't bond over love, they bond over the deeply toxic, shared experience of having the entire world wanting them dead. It's a messed up family reunion, but they are officially on the same page. Oh, and side note, Soldier Boy pausing in the archives to admire a photo of Stormfront? They are absolutely laying the groundwork for that Vought Rising prequel series they just announced. I know cinematic universes can be exhausting, but I'm not gonna lie, a 1950s murder mystery with those two sounds pretty great. So where does that leave us? Let's zoom out. This episode was a blast. The anthology format let us get inside these characters' heads in a way a normal episode never could. Was it a flawless masterpiece? Maybe not. Spending 10 minutes watching a dog waddle around felt a little self-indulgent, when we only have 3 episodes left in the entire series. And like I said, MM's character shift felt a bit jarring. But man, the chess pieces are officially set for a catastrophic finale. It's not just about beating the bad guy anymore. Sister Sage is actively plotting a global apocalypse from the shadows. Old Father is running Homelander's terrifying new religion. And most dangerous of all, Soldier Boy has officially teamed up with his psychotic son. Our boys have their work cut out for them. And with death flags flying this high, I don't think everyone is making it to the credits. But I want to hear from you guys. Jump down into the comments right now. Which of the 5 viewpoints was your absolute favorite? Do you think Ashley is actually going to betray Sister Sage to save the world? And who do you think is going to die first? Frenchie or MM? Let me know your best theories. If you liked this deep dive, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you don't miss my breakdown of the next episode. We are in the endgame now. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next one.